I'm not a Derozan hater. He's had struggles in the playoffs.
And I don't think they have the ability to stop a guy like Giannis or Embiid or even Bam. Anyway, moving on to the next team in the Eastern Conference. I would say sort of similar to the Grizzlies, a bit of a surprise team, but I wouldn't say it's much of a surprise just because they're a little bit more hyped up coming into the season. The Chicago Bulls are fourth in the Eastern Conference. DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, Lonzo Ball, all those guys. How do you feel about the Bulls, contenders or pretenders?
I may get some flack for this, but as of right now, especially because of the Patrick Williams injury, and I don't think he's expected to be back by this year. Who knows? I think he may be. I'm going to go pretender right now. I worry about this team, especially the interior defense in the playoffs. Vucevic is an okay guy at best. Even if Patrick Williams comes back, it's just how are you going to guard a Giannis or even Bam Adebayo? Could do some things with the ball in his hands, and then also, and this is not I'm not a DeRozan hater, even though he left the Spurs. We left on good terms. He's had struggles in the playoffs because his game is predicated on mid-range and driving, but when the lanes start closing more because the whistles refs aren't making the same calls, he's also kind of reliant on the free throw line. It's tougher to to hit those mid-range shots, especially once again in a 7-game series where teams they go, oh, we know he likes to get to this spot, so let's not let him get to those spots, and the defenders get used to maybe some of his moves or just how he is. That's a concern. And then I know Lonzo and Caruso are supposed to be back by playoff time. Once again, they're more role players. So the key factor could be Zach LaVine. Maybe he really balls out in the playoffs. He's really the only other guy who I could say consistently could get a bucket on his own. I just have those concerns about the Bulls this year. So I'm going to say that they're a pretender, and I'll probably get a lot of flack for it, but those are my thoughts.
I mean, I guess we're both going to get hate then. All the angry Bulls fans are going to be in the comments here, but I think the Bulls are pretenders. I just don't really believe in them that much as a team. Like if you put them against any of those top 3 teams that we already mentioned, I don't think that they're better than any of them. And I don't think, like you mentioned, they have the ability to stop a guy like Giannis or Embiid or even Bam. Like I think that Bam just has such an athletic advantage over Vucevic that who are you going to put on him? I don't think they have the ability to do that. And so I just worry about their defense. I feel like in the playoffs, scoring is always great, but if you don't have an elite defense, it's going to be tough to win a playoff series where you got to go out there and you got to win 4 out of 7 games. And so with the Bulls, I'm not saying they're a terrible defensive team, but they just don't have any guys that I can say that guy is going to get a stop and then get a bucket on the other end, to where a lot of these other teams, they have Jimmy Butler or Giannis or Embiid or some of these guys who that when it matters most in crunch time, when the score's close, they can get a stop and then go put it in the hoop on the other side to close out a game. So I'm not sure the Bulls have that. And I think if they're going to win playoff games, it's going to have to be through a lot of high-scoring games. And like you said, I think they just have some guys who have some pretty clear weaknesses like DeRozan and his inability to shoot threes, that playoff defenses can exploit that. And I feel like the playoffs, it's sort of this weird marriage to where like some guys, they might go off and have like a crazy stat line, but that doesn't actually mean it contributed to the win because the other team was able to funnel you into certain ways of playing that you just weren't able to play team basketball. So I think the Bulls could easily get funneled into that sort of style in the playoffs. So I agree with you, pretenders.